if you do not grab your new hire on day one, let alone week one, they're already looking and they're still interviewing. I see it, unfortunately, and I hear it all the time. So the importance of blowing their socks off during their first day into their week, into their first 30-day, 60-day, 90-day is a non-negotiable if you want to keep that employee. So that resistance, I don't know that it's resistance as much as just lack of integration, to your point of how do I bring you into the fold. Now, what I mean by that is, what do I do around our culture, which stems from our values and our way of doing things? How much do I talk about that during the first 30 days, during the first day, during the first week? So it's not enough to say, here's our handbook, read it, let me know if you have any questions. Here's our values. Here's our mission statement. You've got to unpack it. You've got to be able to describe for them as they're getting trained and onboarded, this is an example of how we collaborate. This is what we mean by innovation. This is what we mean by respect. This is an example of when we respect each other, we're doing this and this and this. That's an example of not having good communication. And this is what we do to help bring you back into the fold. So it's not just clarity of the job description and the handbook and the policies and the procedures, but what does that mean? How do I show up around the values that you're now telling me are important? What does it look like? So the quicker you can enroll, integrate, bring clarity of those expectations, the more likely I'm going to feel seen, valued, and heard as a new employee, because you're really explaining it. You're allowing me to digest it. I can almost touch it and feel it through your examples, and they can be pictures and videos and stories. It's how you introduce me to other team members and how the team members talk about the importance of the values. When you do those things, when companies do those things, hands down, you're reinforcing the clarity of expectations with the information and the foundation of what right looks like around your culture and how we do what we do when we work together. Instead of, hey, listen, I'm going to come in, here's your computer, here's all the things we're going to go through. Go ahead and take some time in to read or to go on and do all this paperwork, and then I'll circle back around with you. And the circle back around comes in with, hey, do you have any questions? And before the employee can even answer, we're on to the next thing. And so we're throwing, the water hose on full speed, the fire water hose on full speed at the employee with a promise. We'll circle back to that. We'll come back to that. Hold that thought. We'll come back to that. Gosh, I'm so sorry, but we're short-staffed and we're just going to have to throw you in. But we'll come back to that. And we don't ever come back to that. And that's how we lose our employees really, really quick. Statistically, the rapidest turnover happens in the first 90 days, and then the 6 months, and then the year. Then the next trigger is at the 2 to 3 year mark if we're not giving training and development.